Yo, it's Friday night, 9 p.m. sharp. You know what time it is.
NarcoCop and Timmy T hitting you with that Lambo energy.
He's Mike by name, but the streets call NarcoCop. Used to bust dealers, now he's busting long shots. Retired badge, now he's bad with the bets. Octagon fiend, cashing slips, no regrets. Friday night fights, Zecchini poured on ice. Lambo Plays podcast, breaking down the price. Got parlays, KO, subs in round 3. Split decision magic, cashing like a G. Lambo Plays, it's a wild parade. Long shots flying, getting that paid. Tim with impressions, Narco's got the locks. Whisper bet of the week, gonna shock your socks. Lambo Plays, the odds go cray. Spin that wheel, it's a betting ballet. KO's to be round 2 or 3. Hit that split, cashing big LFG. Tim Troiano, lotion in hand. Tennis coach by day, fight fan of the land. Watching WMMA, yeah, you know the drill. Playing with himself, just joking, but still. Impressions fly, Katona in the house. Roses Jr. squeaking, Tim's loud like a mouse. Cornholio vibes, he's stealing the show. Narcos like bruh, but they still go toe to toe. Round 2 chaos, round 3 gold. Split decisions, bets unfold. Side case sipping, parlays lit. Lambo energy, never quit. Lambo Plays, it's a wild parade. Long shots flying, getting that paid. Tim with impressions, Narco's got the locks. Whisper bet of the week, gonna shock your socks. Lambo Plays, the odds go cray. Spin that wheel, it's a betting ballet. KOSOB round 2 or 3. Hit that split, cashing big LFG. NarcoCop, Timmy T, Friday nights, a Lambo Plays podcast. Where long shots live large and splits hit harder. We out. We out. We out.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to NarcoCop MMA. This is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 166 for UFC Vegas 115. I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host, Tim Troiano here. Timothy, 13 fights. We had one late add to this card here at UFC Vegas 115, with the main event being Vannata Moicano versus Chris Duncan. Should be an exciting main event. Most Duncan fights are exciting. I don't think this wouldn't go, an exciting route, but yeah, you never know. It's Moicano. He could probably just take him down, get the back real quick, and it won't be very exciting. But we do have 12 other fights on the card. Not a big name card, honestly, but listen, it's the Apex, and the Apex more than likely delivers as opposed to these other bigger cards in big cages. So I like that aspect. It's in the Apex. I like that. Yeah. How do you feel about the card in general? And yeah, how are you doing in general? How about that?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I think the card has got some, I think the card's going to have some violence. The Apex, like you said, usually brings about that with the about 20% smaller cage, lower, a lot of times lower level fighters as well. So more finishes there as well. So, whereas the level of the fights aren't necessarily that great, there's a couple of good matchups. I think there's going to be some definitely entertaining, violent fights.
By the way, look at the shirt. That's Taco Padilla's shirt. Chris Taco Padilla. War Taco, baby. I got his gear on. War Taco. Who the hell? You got these freaking crazy shirts all the time. All right, let me go over to my chat. By the way, please hit the like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. If you're on Rumble, also do the same over there. Subscribers have been going up, so I can't complain. We're at 3.37, so looking to hit the 3.4K mark and going up to hopefully 5K and 10K and, keep growing. Last week, I had 7 Lambo plays. It was an insane week. What was it? 13 total fights or 12? hit 7 Lambos with the big one was that Usry one, round 3. Pretty spot on with my calls, honestly, last week. I'm happy for myself. I think you made some good calls as well. It was a good week overall. We're back again this week. I think I have some good reads again on this card. We'll see. But let me go over to chat. Shout out my chat. Elijah Juan, let's effing go. Mandy, Ellis, Narco, and Tim, appreciate you. Mushroom, Narco, and Tim, what's up? 19 hours, 54 minutes, and 14.67383393 seconds until violence, Tim. This is going to get very long. It might take like 10 minutes reading out the seconds from Mushroom in about 10 shows. So it's going to take a while. Buster J. Moicano had a round 2 finish against Turner St. Bended 24. Yeah, I know it's been rough, but he will finish Duncan if he gets him down in rounds 1 and 2. Azure will be hard to beat last week's banger, and NarcoCop and Tim will bring the heat to this week's sleeper. Thank you, NarcoCop and Tim. Smash the like button and chat. Thank you. Appreciate you very much. Eric Will, what is up, my man? Left for Dead says Verna fights ends by split. Let's effing go. Or Ricci plus 3.5. We're going to talk about that. The plus 3.5 in women's MMA is usually a good bet. Phila says, what's the play for LFA, gents? We went 0-2 on the first 2 dogs, but then we hit a dog for plus 165, and he came through down very small. I like some overs, actually, in the next couple of fights. So if you have the overs at big plus money, I like them. Jonathan Everett, GOAT NarcoCop, let's get it. Appreciate you, my man. The Scottsdale, Arizona treadmill team is in the house. Click the like button, they say. Appreciate you and the entire Scottsdale, Arizona treadmill team. Dads, let's get money. Let's get it. Cash money incoming. What's up, Uncle Weezy in the house? How are you doing, my man? Andrew Nance says, let's effing go. MMA Tard, Sheezy, Big Narco, and Tremendous Tim about to get us paid. I don't know about the second part. I could potentially get you paid. That second part you're going to have to do on your own. If you got the money, it sounds lazy, but honeys come easy. I like that one. If you got money, it sounds sleazy, but honeys come easy, Tim. Vinny Diaz, let's cash big this week. Need the whisper bets. Landon Warren, let's effing go. Tim, your mic, please. It's buzzing. Dixon, Narco, and Tim. Last week's lotion fight was a complete disaster. We didn't even get to the wax, the carrot. I'm planning on throwing a mini Diddy MMA watch party tomorrow in honor of Haley Cowan's fight. Julio Rodriguez, let's cash, my man. What else do we have here? Hugh says the best worst intro song of all of YouTube. All right, the best worst. Craig Crowley, what's up, my man? Rashid, let's make 20K this Saturday. All the best, everyone. Appreciate you as always. Sujit says, Narco, please never increase the price of your Discord. I don't think I have. It's been 2+ years. Apex equals violence, says Joseph Curry. Boogie Down, what's up, my man? Thank you for joining. Cameron Junkin says, Taco is the man. Lewis says, good morning, Narco and Tim from Wales. Let's go. He's all the way from Wales. Appreciate you, my man. Spaffron says, we want tacos. We want cheesecake. All right, what else do we have here? I think that's it. Alan Carter. Fuck, please start the breakdowns. Come on, Alan. We have to, we give everybody a shout out, and I'm giving you a shout out now, even though your comment is not a nice one, but we're going to start the breakdowns. Take it easy, my man. All right, Tim. Alan Carter's in a hurry. I don't want him to drive 100 to get home or whatever. I haven't seen Joel lately. He probably got pulled over, honestly. The guy probably got pulled over. Can't make it anymore. Probably went to jail going 120, All right. First fight of the night. It is this is going to be in the lightweight division. I have it as a featherweight, but this is definitely in the lightweight division. They both weighed in at 155 mark. So it is the 11-1 Dakota Hope versus the 17-7-1 Kai Kamaka III. The current price, it is minus 150 on Kai Kamaka, and the comeback on Dakota Hope plus 130. Short notice, Tim. Both guys probably around 4 or 5 days max. Did you scramble yourself a Lambo here?
You know what I'm going to do, dude? I'm going to defer to you this time, and then we can switch off the order this time. That way, every women's fight I can start, and there's 3 lotion fights this card. So I think that's the way that we should stick with it.
All right. So Tim wants to do the lotion fights. I have to kick this one off. This was a late replacement fight for both guys. Kai Kamaka, obviously former UFC fighter, got cut. I think it was kind of mean to or unfair to him to cut him. He was in some close fights. One of the fights, potentially, he was robbed a little bit. He's a good fighter. I mean, he's a good all-around fighter. The thing with Kai Kamaka is he tends to always fight close, a lot of close fights, as evidenced by his decisions, man. Look at the last 4 fights for him that he actually lost him. Last 4 losses, all by split decision. It's incredible. Every single loss of his, the last 4 times, has been a split decision loss. So this is a guy that fights close. He doesn't turn it on. I don't know what it is, because he's skilled. He's got good striking. He's got good movement. He can wrestle. He can defensively wrestle. All of the things. He might not have a ton of power, but even his power, I think it's there. It's not that bad, So he's a well-rounded fighter, and he's fighting a guy in Dakota Hope who I think is going to be more athletic, more explosive, but he lacks experience. Yes, he has 12 fights, but he seems to me to be a little bit green. He's throwing a lot of big wide hooks with a lot of power. He's exploding into everything, exploding into the takedowns, using a lot of energy with his striking and grappling, to be honest. And, he doesn't have the best control when he gets people down. They get up. He does have some pop, but also defensively, he lacks, man, to me. There's a little bit of defensive void in his game. He got dropped very bad against Damian Nelson in round 2. I've seen him hurt before, even in the fight that he lost. So I think Kai Kamaka is the much, much smoother MMA fighter. Like, he just has the better skills here. But Hope will have the athleticism. Hope will have probably the explosiveness, the power, in one shot. But I do think Kamaka should be able to pick this guy apart on the feet. And I don't really think, even if Hope gets Kamaka down, I don't really think he's going to hold Kamaka down. I think it's just going to be a waste of energy. I think most likely this fight goes the distance, but I'm going to take a poke on Kamaka KO, honestly. I've seen this guy dropped. I've seen him hurt. It's 850. Kamaka does have some power. It's not like, by the way, one thing to note too here is it's very important is Michel Lima, the last guy he fought and knocked out in round 3, and he knocked him out bad. Michel Lima has a lot of fights, and he's fought good fighters. He had never been knocked out prior to that. So just making a point that Kamaka does have power to knock you out, and he's pretty crisp on the feet. So I'm going to take him here by KO. I think 850 is a little bit too big. It's a little bit too big here. Do I expect him to knock him out? No, but I also don't think this line's it's not lined correctly. What do you have?
We're starting off this one. I thought that the split was too obvious, but I just think that if it's a split, it's kind of like a weird Kamaka doing his non-separation thing that he has a tendency to do. But I think he's kind of better everywhere, minus the physicality and athleticism. I think he's just got, probably even maybe a little bit worse wrestling, but the striking for me from Hope, I thought that he was like always throwing like wide loopy shots. And I just think that Kamaka is going to be there to just like go straight into him and be quicker to the punch. And I agree with you. I think that the late KO for me is the way to go. So I like the KO is a big line at plus 850, and the KO 2 is plus 2,500. KO 3 is plus 3,000. Those are huge lines. Like you said, I think it's more likely that he pieces them up to a decision, but I think that those are mistakes, just from, Kai not normally getting KOs and not finishing guys. And he's had a pretty big sample size. So because he hasn't gotten that many KOs, I think that they're saying, all right, this is definitely going to decision. I think he hits a little bit harder than than what the books think. And it's more that I think that the defense on Hope is like wide open. Like he's just wide open to be hit and to be countered. So yeah, give me KO as well. And I like the small stabs at the late rounds.
All right, let's move on. Fight number 2. It is in the women's flyweight division. It is the 9-2-2 Melissa Gatto versus the 8-4 Deanny Barbosa. Currently, Barbosa down to -123, and the comeback on Gatto at +103. Tim?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you and I are going to be on opposing sides on this one. This is the first Lotion fight of the night. We got Melissa the Cat versus Deanny Barbosa. I think the physicality edge early for Barbosa is there. I think that striking is close. They're different. They have different striking styles. Barbosa, I think, has better boxing. I think better kicks from Gatto. I think Gatto's volume is better than Barbosa's. We might disagree on that, but Gatto's not getting outstruck standing versus a lot of people that she's been fighting, and she's fought some good strikers. Rewatching the Lipsky Gatto fight, I thought Gatto won that fight and didn't get it. I thought the Cortez fight was close, might have been able to give it to her as well. I think this is going to probably be early Barbosa and later Gatto, probably midway through the fight. Barbosa seems to slow down in a lot of her fights. In the last fight versus Silva, she was putting some deep subs and got out. And I kind of think like two ways. I'm on the Gatto side. I kind of think like it wouldn't surprise me Gatto split in this fight, having it be a close women's fight. And she's the dog, so her decision and split line, her split specifically is 8-1. I don't hate that at all. I think that that's very, very likely. But I'm going to give out the Gatto by sub. I think that she's going to be taken down, and I think that like armbar is going to be live, maybe even a reversal or a switch on her and a back take to a rear naked choke, something like that. She's very sneaky with her jiu-jitsu. I think she has caught a bunch of fighters in them, and I think that she's been really, really close to catching very good fighters in them as well. So yeah, I'll go with sub. I think that the split on Gatto is also good at 8-1. I think that that's very, very, very likely, and it's a pretty good line. But I'll go with the sub. I think that she can sub Barbosa.
Yeah, I mean, we're disagreeing in the sense that I think Barbosa's going to win this fight. I just I do think Gatto is going to throw out more volume on the feet for sure. She's more of a volume person, but I don't think she's as technical as Barbosa. I think Barbosa is way more technical than her on the feet. Better footwork, better movement, in my opinion. More variety of strikes with her hands, especially. But I think the main problem for Gatto is like she gets taken down just about in every fight by everybody. And Deanny Barbosa showed me that she is pretty physical. I mean, she out-physicaled Karine Silva for the most part in the clinch there multiple times, and I was kind of surprised, honestly. I did not think she was going to be stronger than a girl like Karine Silva, who's explosive. And meanwhile, when I'm looking at Gatto, it's like Gatto's getting taken down by everybody. I mean, you know, you name it, they've taken her down for the most part. You know, Lipsky took her down. I just, even in her regional tape, she gets taken down a lot. And the one thing I don't like with Gatto is that she plays jiu-jitsu off her back way too often, you know, losing minutes on minutes on minutes, just, you know, going for sub attempts, one after another. And, you know, Barbosa has shown very good grappling, like jiu-jitsu and judo, you know, the judo tosses, the body lock trips, you know, she's really, really good with them and strong in the clinch. So, you know, the other thing with Gatto is she's been gone for 2 years, you know, meanwhile, Barbosa has been fighting. There could be some ring rust, you know, she is young. She's only 29, right? So it's not that big of a deal, but a lot of injuries, a lot of time off for Gatto. But where I do agree with you is the jiu-jitsu. I think she's super, super dangerous on the ground, honestly. And I think both girls are black belts, but I think Gatto is the better jiu-jitsu practitioner here of these two girls. She's the more dangerous one, I should say. And you know, I don't know if you remember round 3 with Karine Silva. She had a pretty tight ninja choke on Deanny Barbosa there. So I am going with that too. I'm going with the sub at plus 650. I think it's too big just because when you run Gatto's tape, she's just always looking to sub. You know, she's looking to arm bars, this, that, and the other. Whether she gets it or not is a different story, but I think she's going to attack it. You know, I do think she's going to be on her back in this fight. I'm pretty certain she's going to get taken down. So, yeah, for me, it's Barbosa's going to win, in my opinion. But plus 650 on the sub. And also, I do think, like, I don't know, probably 90% of the finishing equity is on the Gatto side, but it's not a lot. The thing is, I don't think it's a lot, but whatever finishing equity there is, most of it is on the Gatto side, in my opinion. All right, let's move on. Fight number 3. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 5-4 Troiano Gore versus the 20-4 Azamat Bekoev. And currently, this line's ballooned up to minus 650 in the comeback on Troiano Gore, plus 475. I put up a thread on X with all the weigh-ins, photos from before, and just for people that I saw some differences, you know, in their photos and stuff. And one person that stuck out was obviously Troiano Gore. He missed weight last time out. He was 189, came in on weight, looking good, didn't really need to sweat to make the weight. You could see his six-pack. You know, the guy was in good shape. Let's give him that. Let's give Gore his flowers. He made weight. He's ready to go, right? The same thing can be said on the other side with Bekoev. Bekoev was one of the last guys to weigh in last time, and he looked awful. He looked like he was drained and awful. But this time out, he looked much better, man. In peak physical shape, was on the scales early, looked happy, looked good, did not look sucked out. So both guys, props to them. They made the scales. They looked good. But the thing is, like, I just think one guy is way better than the other. I do think Bekoev is just the more well-rounded fighter. You know, Gore, low volume, has some pop in his hands. You know, he's athletic. He's got good takedown defense. I can give him all those things, but he's very low volume. He's always okay with taking the back foot. He's always okay with, you know, other fighters dictating the pace. You know, getting outstruck last time out by a BJJ guy. You know, when you get outstruck 89-41 by Rodolfo Vieira and not have much success with the grappling and easily win that fight, I mean, it's a bad look for Troiano Gore. That matchup, if you're to tell anybody in MMA, hey, Rodolfo Vieira is going to get one takedown in like 20 seconds of control, who do you think wins the fight? A lot of people are going to say, oh, well, Gore is definitely live. He should, at minimum, fight close, right? It's not even close to fight. He gets outstruck like crazy against Vieira. And the thing that you see with Gore over and over, when you run the tape, he's being outstruck, outworked by everybody. You know, he's looking for the guillotine. You know, he got it twice, right? He got it against Frem and he got it against Nicoll. Well, both those guys are not in the UFC anymore, right? For a reason. He's not going to get that against Bekoev. Bekoev is a good grappler. He's not getting that front choke against this guy. So it's like, can he defend takedowns against Bekoev? I'm sure he can. I also think Bekoev can take him down. Don't get me wrong. I truly believe Bekoev can take him down. But I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold him down, you know, because Troiano Gore has shown a good get-up game and takedown defense. But even if he doesn't, Bekoev just throws more volume, is more aggressive. He's going to be on the front foot. Gore has to think twice about throwing because he might get taken down. So I think Bekoev wins here, but I also think Gore could survive here to the bell. Honestly, I think he could survive to the bell here against a guy like Bekoev because Bekoev is kind of front loaded with his finishes. I don't think he's you know, back loaded where he gets them late. You know, it's mostly late. He's taking you down, holding you down. And he doesn't have the best cardio. I do think his cardio is fine. I don't think it's that bad, but he does slow down for sure. And the problem is, even if he slows down, I just don't see Troiano Gore taking advantage of it. So it's really not going to matter. I'm going to go with Bekoev decision plus 260 here. Obviously, he can finish Gore early, but I tend to think Gore is going to survive. Defensively, Gore's pretty good, hands up and stuff. The problem for him is he just lacks volume. And he lets guys just free volume. And so maybe he overwhelms Gore, but it took a lot from Marco Tulio to finish Gore. I mean, 127 significant. I don't see Bekoev doing something like that. So, yeah, going decision plus 260. Tim?
Don't hate that. That was on the list, but I'm going to go a different way. I think that this fight could go a bunch of different ways. I think Bekoev could win a decision like you're saying. I think he could knock out Gore in round one because he's pretty aggro in round one with his striking. The lean I'm going on this one, I'm just going on huge fucking lines on this one. I'm going on the Bekoev going for it in round one. He has a tendency to do this. He has a tendency to go after guys in round one with his striking. And then when he doesn't get him out in round one, then he starts grappling in rounds 2 and 3. Like, he doesn't go as big. So I'm going to say that he's going to stick his neck in the wrong place in round 2 and round 3. Gore has shown, I think that like Gore is honestly like one of his only things that I actually like is his squeeze on a front choke. And he has the takedown defense to stay upright. Like, it's not like this guy goes for like guillotines and then he's on his back all the time. It's all standing guillotines, and he's clearly got a squeeze. I mean, that squeeze against Fremd was hilarious. That was a violent choke. I think that it's very, very, it's unlikely to hit, but you're getting massive lines. Sub 2 is plus 4,000. Sub 3 is plus 5,000. You just can't be that wrong. Throw $10 on it and have fun if it hits.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to throw something on that, you can never be that wrong. You're trying to hit a home run, maybe even a grand slam. So, all right, let's move on. Fight number 4. It is in the women's bantamweight division. It is the 7-4 Haley Cowan versus the 5-1 Alice Pereira. Currently, Alice Pereira is a minus 125 favorite, and the comeback on Cowan at plus 105. Tim, second women's fight for you. Kick it off.
Yep, this is the second Lotion fight of the night. You got Haley Cowan, former gymnast, versus the dude. Look at that profile picture on Alice Pereira. Dude, she looks higher than giraffe pussy in that picture. Like, it's pretty crazy, honestly. Anyways, yeah, I think that this fight is just like, this is the South Park meme where you got the giant douche versus turd sandwich, vote on which one. Really, both of these fighters are not that skilled and have major flaws in their games. I don't want to over break this one down. I'm just going to basically go with the fact that what I've seen from Alice Pereira on the ground isn't from versus Rendon was not good at all. And Cowan, you pretty much know what she's going to try to do. She's going to try to grapple. She's not going to strike with people. She's going to try to cage push, try to use physicality to get the fight down to the ground. And that to me is like all I need to see to see a plus 900 on Cowan by sub. Yeah, I mean, I think defensively, I think Cowan grappling is horrible, but I think offensively she's not bad. She was able to get 2 takedowns on Jamie Lynn Horth, who's an absolute hoss. And I think has way more physicality than Alice Pereira does, but we'll see. 9-1, again, same deal. It's a pretty huge line. Can't be that wrong.
So what is it? 9-1 on the sub?
Yeah,
okay.
For Cowan. Yeah,
Cowan. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. That was my other, like, I was thinking of that play because we kind of don't even know what Alice Pereira is on the mat. I mean, we have no idea. She could be like a complete fish, completely horrible on the mat on her back. We haven't seen her there. The one time we saw her shoot a takedown in round 2, she looked awful flat on her stomach after the takedown, like face first. And then she just let Rendon get her back, but there wasn't enough time. I'm kind of with you there, to be honest. Like, why wouldn't you play Cowan by sub? She's going to go for takedowns. I do think she's going to get this Alice Pereira girl down. It's a smaller cage, right? It helps Cowan cut off the cage a little bit better. And by the way, Rendon has to be one of the worst to do it as far as like trying to cut off the cage. I don't know what the fuck she was doing in that fight, but she was like, Pereira was like running around the cage and Rendon's like all the way closer to the cage following her like this. Instead of cutting her off, she was doing this. Let me follow you around. It's hilarious. Rendon is literally one of the worst fighters in the UFC, man. She really is. And somehow she beat Pereira in that fight. She even hurt her on the feet. It was an awkward moment where she was like following her the same way, but then she ended up throwing punches and Alice Pereira ran out of room and she started landing on her. It was fucking funny. But yeah, like Cowan looks, again, this is somebody I posted on X. She looks much better, man. She looked drained, horrible in that last fight. And by the way, that last fight after round one, or at some point in round one, she was on top almost the entire round. She tore her MCL, she said, in round one. So round two, that's why she looked so awful. I just feel like Cowan's going to get her down here. The only thing that's scary here is that Alice is only 20, right? She fought one time. She was 19. A lot of nervous energy. You can tell she was super nervous. And honestly, on tape, she grapples herself a lot. She gets a lot of takedowns in that bad scene that she's been fighting in, right? So I don't really know what to make of this. I do like the Cowan side. Whether she gets a sub or not, I don't know. I'm going to go Cowan decision plus 175. It's not the best price. It's a shitty price. But I do think that she's very, very live to get the sub. I totally agree with you, because if it wasn't me giving the decision, the second bet was going to be sub. That's what I was thinking of, but I went with decision instead. So, we're banking on Alice Pereira not being good on the mat, which nobody really knows because there's no tape of it. But yeah, we'll find out, I think, because I do think Cowan is going to get her down. Like, she would be crazy to just strike, By the way, look at Brandon. Brandon Oliva says he's grappled with her. I don't know if you saw that. He said he's grappled with Cowan. She's very, very strong. So she looks pretty physical, honestly. She does. Even in the fight against Jamie Lynn Horth, who's physical herself, There was a bunch of back and forth. She got her down and stuff like that. So, all right, let's move on. Fight 5, it is in the lightweight division. It is the 12-8-1 Darius Flowers versus 12-7-2 Lando Vannata. Currently, Vannata lines come down -210, and Darius Flowers +180. Darius Flowers, again, came in, Tim, last time against Michael Johnson at 55. He had missed weight by a quarter pound. He had to go back and cut weight, and he made weight. This time he missed by a half a pound. And he said, screw it, I'm not cutting weight. And he didn't make weight. So, and he was pissed. I don't even know what was going on. He could barely walk. He was being assisted to walk. He looked awful. I will say that on the scale. Not that Lando looked great. Lando made weight, but he didn't look great either. I went back again with him. He needed the box of shame against Zellhuber. He looked awful there as well. I mean, I don't know what to make of this fight. 3 years off Vannata, 2 years off Flowers. I have no idea why they brought Flowers back after cutting him. And then Lando just decides to take 3 years off, kind of in his prime. At 31 years old, he took 3 years off, to 34. I don't know what he's doing. He looks like he's training a little. I don't know if he owns that gym with Moicano, but he keeps touting that Kingdom gym. I don't know if it's his too or what the deal is. But one thing I do know, Tim, is Darius Flowers is a gasser. That I know. And Darius Flowers is definitely live to hurt Vannata early, potentially even finish early. But he's also definitely live to gas out and die out in rounds 2 and 3. And Lando, I'm not saying he's the best finisher but he's a black belt on the ground. He can strike. He's the more well-rounded fighter. He's the better cardio athlete. I'm going 2-3 here, Tim, plus 600, plus 1,000. But if you really want to have fun, Tim, you take the sub 2 and 3 on Lando Vannata, because I think Darius Flowers is going to be tired. He's going to shoot a sloppy-ass takedown per usual, and he's going to end up on his back or in some kind of choke, and he's going to get finished. So give me whisper bet of the week, Lando Vannata, sub 2-3. What do you have?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to have like any kind of confidence in Darius Flowers, like ever. Like, the only thing that I think, like, it's just basically like he's just like he's got 6 minutes, 4 to 6 minutes to get his game off of. Like, he actually fought pretty close, honestly, against the few matches that he had in the UFC. I mean, like, Jake Matthews was close, kind of striking in round 1. It wasn't horrible. Like, it was way better than I would have thought. Against Johnson, the same thing. It was kind of closer than you would have thought. And then both of them are just like, what am I doing striking with this guy? like I'm going to just take this guy down and rinse him on the mat. And he made Michael Johnson look like George St. Pierre, like, get it on these takedowns. So, yeah, I tend to think the same thing. Like, I think it's probably a later sub if it is Lando sub. His sub is plus 370. The round 2, like you said, is 6-1. His round 3 is plus 1,000. I just think, like, he's got better cardio and he's just got a better game all the way around. Like, I don't think that, like, minus 250 off of 3 years and not knowing what he's doing. I think you made a great point on being out, like, taking 3 years off when you're 31. Like, there has to be something. You would have thought there had to be something physically wrong. Like, why would you ever take time off in your prime? It seems pretty stupid. But this seems like a get right spot, matching him up with Flowers here. So I like the same props as you. I think it's round 2, round 3. Pray that Flowers can keep him at bay long enough for round 1, or maybe he respects the power enough in round 1, and then get that sub in round 2, 3 for us.
Yeah. I mean, listen, can Flowers hurt him maybe early, something explosive? Sure. But Lando's just better. He's a better striker. He's the better grappler. He's faced a better level of opposition. He's got better wins. I mean, props to Flowers. He made it to the UFC. He came back somehow. I think he has his own promotion called Beast Mode Promotions in the Midwest. He throws a lot of shows in Hammond and stuff like that. So he's got other stuff going for him. I don't even know, how or why this fight was made. It's kind of very awkward, honestly. I would love to know, like, what's the background of this fight? Like, how did these matchmakers say, Lando Vannata, 3 years off? Yes, it's his time to fight at the Apex. And then who should we give him at 155 on the roster? And they're looking. Oh, there's nobody we can give him. Let's call Darius Flowers back at 155. It's just awkward. Like, how do you get to that conversation to make this fight? I just don't even know how they got to it, but it's here. It is what it is. It might be an exciting fight because Darius Flowers usually is in exciting fights. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Let's move on. Next fight. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 8-2 Stuart Nicoll versus the 14-5 Alessandro Costa. Currently, Costa is, I think the line has gone up. Maybe it's still, no, minus 400. And the comeback on Stuart Nicoll is still 330. I think this one is me. Yeah. No, it's you. It's you, Tim.
This interesting fight. I mean, Costa for me is a guy that I think is a guy you want to bet in these types of fights. And when he's a, slight favorite to medium-sized favorite against, solid competition, I think you fade him then. But I think against guys, I think he's a good can crusher, and I feel like Stuart Nicoll is exactly that tomato can that he needs to get to smash here. Costa has fought guys really well. in the first couple rounds. He's had good competitive fights against really good fighters, and then loses round 3 a lot. Whether or not that's him gassing or him just kind of giving up, I don't really know. But to me, I just think that he's better pretty much everywhere than Stuart Nicoll is. Stuart Nicoll seemed to go like 2 for like 100 on takedown attempts against Lucas Rocha, who's gets knocked down in the shower pretty much and falls down just from warm water hitting his face. So I think it's going to be tough for Stuart to get his game off in this fight. I do think that calf kicks and body shots and things like that for Costa could kill my prop here, and I think he could knock him out. But I think this is going to be similar to the Jesus fight. I think this is going to be Stuart sticking his neck in the wrong place on a shitty takedown and getting guillotined, and or a back take from a mistake and then instant choke. So give me, and I think it could happen literally in any round. I wanted to kind of go 2-3 at first and think about because the potential of the KO, but then I'm like, he could KO in round 1. I don't want to do that. I think Costa could sub him in any round. I think a bad shot and mistake on the grappling, which Nicoll makes constantly. He's losing positions. He's falling off backs. He's sticking his neck in the wrong space against Aguilar, which is the only win condition Aguilar normally has. So give me Costa sub here, and let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, Stuart Nicoll is not UFC level, man. Like, I've been saying this, I don't know, for a while now, because I bet against him last time. I had Lucas Rocha, and, Lucas Rocha doesn't have the best takedown defense, but I'm like, this Stuart Nicoll guy, I'm watching his tape, and it's like, this is elementary school striking. Like, what the fuck kind of striking is this? He doesn't have any footwork. His punching is awful. He's way off balance. His footwork is like way out of place when he's throwing punches. He's an absolute punching bag when it comes defensively. He doesn't move his head. He is just very bad, man, when it comes to striking. And then you watch his wrestling, and that's not even that good. I'm watching his wrestling. Listen, there's an issue when you're in Australia and you're fighting on this, beat down promotions. He's fighting absolute freaking bums in this promotion, guys that are just not fucking good, man. He's getting hurt in one of these fights. I forgot which one it was. He got hurt very bad in one of these fights. Eventually got the takedown and did his thing with his grappling because he's so much better than these guys, right? And he's a black belt. But man, there's levels to black belts, man. Like Alessandro Costa is gonna wash this guy in the grappling. I'm telling you guys. Like, when this guy tries to grapple Costa, he's gonna be in for some big trouble, because either Costa's gonna reverse or Costa might even get. Listen, Lucas Rocha is known as a striker, right? He took this guy down 3 times. I think it's like, that's all I need to say. Like, Costa is better than this guy everywhere by a big margin. Right? I think he's going to finish this guy. And honestly, it could be knockout for sure, because I saw Nicoll get hurt left, right, and center against Rocha and almost give up. He did show toughness, but also Rocha is the type of guy, like, he didn't really kick it on in that fight for whatever reason. Just like kind of sparring and just touching him up, maybe because he didn't want to get taken down. But Costa's going to go for his head, and I think Stuart Nicoll is going to try to grapple. He's going to get out grappled. He's going to get maybe his back taken or something. And I think Costa's going to sub him. That's how I think this fight goes. Or Costa hurts him on his feet, and then Nicoll tries to grapple because he thinks he's a grappler and he's a better grappler of these two guys. And again, he's going to put himself into something. Like, Costa's a high-level grappler, man. He's a high-level jiu-jitsu grappler. And he's going to sub this guy. It's either going to be obviously KO or this fight, to me, is not going the distance. Costa's going to finish this guy one way or the other, whether it's knockout, whether it's sub. And this is coming from a guy that I'm not high on Costa, because guess what? Last time I bet Alden Correa against Costa as a plus 400 dog. So this is not coming from a guy that thinks Costa is very good. It's just that the level of this fight is UFC level versus below LFA level. Like, I don't even think Stuart Nicoll's an LFA level fighter, so Yeah, I mean, Costa should run through this guy, honestly. I don't see anything on tape that tells me that Stuart Nicoll's going to do anything to Costa, even in the grappling. So, yeah, I like Alessandro Costa here quite a bit. I'm going to take that sub. It's 400. I think it's good enough for me. Let's see what do we have in chat. Breaking Bad, what's up? He is late. He's late. I haven't seen you in a while. Dravi, what's up, my man? Lambo time. Smash the like, boys. Listen to my man Dravi. Smash the like. Steve Harvey says, I'm pretty surprised Costa hasn't ballooned to a bigger favorite this week. I am too. Believe me. I think I'm telling you guys, minus 400 to me is short here. It really is. 80% is short. I think he's 90% in this fight. I'm not even joking. I think Costa should be minus 900. That's how bad. Watching tape of Stuart Nicoll, man, he's terrible. He is terrible. He's not a UFC level fighter. And I'm going to predict Stuart Nicoll gets finished and he gets cut after this fight because there's no reason to keep this guy around if he can't win. And he's not even competing, bro. Like, yes, he went 3 rounds with Ruchala, but he got destroyed for 3 rounds. Let's be honest. And then you get finished right away by Aguilar. Give me a fucking break. You know, you get the best possible scenario where he gets Aguilar's back and then falls off and then gets guillotined. It's like crazy. All right, let's move on. Next fight, it is in the heavyweight division. It is the 10-4 Thomas Petersen versus the 6-0 Guilherme Pat. Currently, Guilherme Pat is nope, it's Petersen. This line has flipped. It's a minus 125 favorite with the comeback on Guillermo Pat at plus 105. I'm gonna kick this one off. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I like Petersen here because of the grappling. Like I think he's the more tested fighter. I think he's the fighter that's been 3 hard rounds versus good guys. I think that he's shown that he can wrestle at the heavyweight division. He's got a very good single leg trip takedown. Guillermo Pat is a big guy. He's physical. He's athletic. He can throw hands. Yes. He has okay power. I don't really know how to rate his power, but because AJ Fry, yes, he took a lot of shots. He survived all that punishment, but let's go back to the guy that, you know, went 3 rounds with him that was a nobody. You know, there's this guy, Leonardo Moreira, is a 185-pound guy that went 3 rounds with Guillermo Pat at heavyweight. And by the way, this Moreira guy got finished at 185 his very next fight. He got knocked out in round 1. So what does that say about Guillermo Pat's power? Is it real? Is it maybe he doesn't really have that much power in his hands, you know? He is the cleaner striker for sure by a mile. He's more athletic. You name it, you know. But I also think he's gassy, man. Like watching that fight where he finished in round 3, like he looked exhausted in round 2 when he got taken down against Quiroz. And Quiroz is nothing more than a juice box. Like he's a juice head. Like that's all he is. He's probably not even an MMA fighter, but he looked like a steroid dude that just was blast doubling this guy. He had no idea how to wrestle, but just kind of blast doubled Guillermo Pat. I think Petersen in this small cage should be able to get takedowns here, you know, and potentially gas out this guy, Pat, you know, get him tired. Now, the thing is looking at these lines, I really don't like Petersen's decision prop. It's a little too small, like plus 2 something. I kind of like the Pat decision line, to be honest. I don't think he wins. Again, I don't think he wins this fight. But there's a difference between who I think wins and who doesn't compared to what the lines are, right? Plus 500 on his decision is too big in the sense that we've seen this guy not have the killer instinct to finish guys. So maybe he hurts Petersen, wins a round, gets taken down, right? And then maybe the optics, again, he hurts him and he takes 2 rounds just by hurting Petersen. Right. And then he goes to decision and he can win a decision. It's plus 500. I just think the line's way, way too big because we just saw him go 3 rounds against a very, very inexperienced AJ Fry who couldn't even fucking get the fight to the ground. You know, he was just a literal punching bag. Whatever you could say, AJ Fry is tough, blah, 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 but he's not a more skilled fighter than Thomas Petersen. You know what I'm saying? So if Fry could survive, why couldn't Petersen survive just by clinching and getting takedowns? So, yeah, plus 500. But I like Petersen's side here, honestly. I think there's more upside. on his side with the takedowns and top time potentially.
Yeah, Pat points is actually 550 on FanDuel right now. Yep. I had that written down as like 1 and 1A. I think that Pat points just seems fucking off for the same reason that you were saying. I had Pat points in his last fight versus Fry for the exact same reasons. Looking at it, his fights with guys that just are like, how the fuck is he stretching these guys all the way to the decision? He does seem to tire. He does not seem to know how to get off the cage at all. Like at all. Doesn't like, maybe he's improving. He hasn't had a lot of fights. He's 31. So you think by this point he'd have a clue as to how to do that, but he's only fought 6 times. I just think that Petersen's cage wrestling and strength compared to AJ Fry is just way, way better. And that's cage wrestling. If you add like single legs to this equation, then I think he's going to get this fight to the ground. So for me, it was tough because like, I think Pat's going to get this fight to the ground, or sorry, Petersen's going to get this fight to the ground. And then it's a question of, well, what does Pat look like off of his back against a huge heavyweight that actually knows what he's doing and has been able to hold stronger guys and bigger guys down. And, you know, then you look at like, all right, well, what method is it going to be for Petersen? Is he just going to lay and prey on him? Is he going to actually, you know, how easy is it going to be for him to get to half or potentially get an arm triangle, potentially get made, you know, even mount to a ground and pound or something like that. And I think both of these guys have potential to gas out. I think Petersen usually tires out in round 3 if he does. But he's fought through it. Like even in round 3 against Waldo Cortez, like Costa, he still was going hard for takedowns and got one and then got up and then he just nuked him. But still he's going for his game in round 3 as well. So I like you said, man, I like the points on Pat, but I'm going to go the other side. I'm going to go with Petersen round 2 and round 3, 1,100 and 1,600.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that too, where this guy just absolutely gasses and Petersen puts it on him. It could be. All right, let's move on. Next fight, it is in the featherweight division. It is the 11-2 Robert Ruchala versus the 16-3 Jose Delano. And currently, Jose Delano is a -290 favorite, and the comeback on Ruchala +245. Tim, this one's yours.
It's a good fight. I think the money line for a debutant in Delano at -350 is, you know, I think it's a little bit wide. I think I would put him at like -270-ish, you know, 250 to 270-ish. I think he should be a favorite in this fight. I think he's a more processed striker. I think he's got decent takedown defense. Not necessarily always he's not necessarily like proactively grappling, but he knows how to grapple as well. Just the striking is just way cleaner. The volume is going to be cleaner. I think Ruchala for me is a dude that's kind of like a generalist. Like he's going to want to, he can do everything, but I don't think he does anything like great. The only thing I really liked on him was his ground and pound in some of the KSW fights that he got. I think his ground and pound is really good, actually. Other than that, I don't think he's like super great anywhere. I think he's kind of hittable. Seemed like he's gotten hurt in a ton of the fights that I was watching. He seems really durable, but I don't know about like long-term if this guy's going to be able to keep taking the shots he's taking. He seems like Fluffy Hernandez when it comes to the body. Like he seems way weaker to the body than he does up top. And Delano definitely attacks the body a lot. He mixes up his strikes very well. So that to me is a, you know, an option here for Delano. So I think that like, I don't know, man. I think that the decision line in Delano is kind of shit. So I'm going to I do think he probably wins a decision, but I'm going to go with the late KO. KO2's +1,200, KO3's +1,300. You know, I probably think it's going to be like a 29-28 on 1 and then 30-27 on 2, and he just kind of beats his ass. But I'll take a stab at and maybe him attacking the body and finishing him late.
Yeah, I mean, everything I saw from Delano is nice, man. I mean, he's got very good striking. I mean, man, I love my striking and strikers and stuff like that. I mean, his footwork is amazing. He can strike out of both stances. He's just always his feet are always right to throw. He never overthrows. He's always, and that's the thing. When you look at his record, he doesn't have a lot of knockouts, and that's because he's not overthrowing. He's never throwing huge shots. It's always nice precision shots. He's always on balance when he's throwing. Footwork is always there. He's always like in that boxing position when he's landing. Like, he's a really educated striker, man. Like, very good kicks, goes to the body. And I think he has excellent, honestly, takedown defense and get up game. It's really good, man. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's very competent with his jiu-jitsu. He's just a super well-rounded fighter, honestly. Yeah. His only loss obviously was to Gabriel Santos in LFA. It was a competitive fight up until Santos hurt him. And Santos is a really good fighter, no shame in that loss, and I think if they ran it back, to be honest, I think it's going to be a super close fight again, so, Ruchala, a little bit different, he's a little bit more wild. He's a little bit more aggressive, I would say. He grapples obviously more than a guy like Delano does. A lot of kicks, a lot of crazy wild kicks. He honestly showed good against Gomes in France. It was a very close fight, in my opinion. I do think Gomes won, but obviously it was in France too, so that helped Gomes win that fight. Ruchala, after the fact, I heard that he had a terrible weight cut. Like, he actually, again, I posted this on X in my weight cut thread. He looked awful on the scales in that you could see it was, and on top of it, look at this picture and look at this scar over his right eye. It was completely opened up at weigh-ins. It was a bad, like, it was a recent cut for sure. He no longer has it, as of today, as I looked at the weigh-ins. The thing with Ruchala is he's going to make fights like kind of scrappy, right? He's not going to just let you do whatever you want, which is why, he's probably a good dog at these kind of prices. But I just think Delano's too good, man. He's just very good with his footwork. He's on point with his striking. I wanted to take a dog shot on Ruchala. I thought I was going to. I don't see the instances of him taking down Delano and like keeping him down. I just don't see it. But he is tough. He is durable. Plus 138 on the decision for Delano. I think he's going to win a decision, honestly. I really don't think. I don't know. I just don't see him finishing Ruchala. I mean, yes, could it be accumulation, just busting him up? Yeah, it potentially. And we've seen Ruchala hurt to the body, like you said. That's where I'm afraid of most. But, this guy has fought high-level guys, man. Like, and he's got wins against high-level guys. So, people might not know him from KSW, but there's some really good names there that he has wins over. And then Saladin Pernice, he went 4 rounds. Obviously, was getting dominated in that fight. But that guy's like one of the best fighters in the world outside of the UFC. So, yeah. I mean, I'm going to go with decision here for Jose Delano, plus 138. It's not the best price, but I think that's how he wins. That's how he wins this fight. Let's move on. Next fight. It is in the featherweight division. It is 11-4 Manelo Zecchini versus the 9-0 Tommy McMillan. And currently, Tommy McMillan is a minus 1,000 favorite. Zecchini or Zucchini is plus 700. I mean, this line's crazy to me. Like, I'm watching McMillan. He's just not that good, man. Defensively, he's very void. He gets hit a lot. He showed toughness. He's shown cardio. He's shown very good defensive wrestling and offensive wrestling when he wants to go to it. But I think this guy truly loves to strike. He's like he tries to clone his game behind Sean O'Malley. You could see with his haircut. You could see the way he fights. Zecchini, he had that fight against Charrier got body kick, kind of just crumbled to a body kick. He looked fine in the striking, but he said apparently the very first punch he threw with his left hand, he fucked up his shoulder. You could see that big ass scar. Look at his pictures there. You could see that huge scar in his left shoulder. That's from having surgery. He had bad surgery. That's why he's been out for so long. But when I look at his tape, like, he's got some power in his hands. I've seen him grapple pretty well. Is he going to win? I don't know. I don't think so. But the line's huge. If you're going to play McMillan, I don't think he's just going to run over Zecchini, honestly. I really don't. I don't think he's going to just run over him. I think he's going to bust him up, potentially finish him later. KO 2-3 is kind of huge on McMillan, man. It's plus 1,100 and plus 2,000. I think those lines are crazy because McMillan, yes, could he take him down and potentially sub him? He's a better wrestler. Yes, potentially, yes. But I think he loves to strike. He loves to strike. And I think those KO lines are massive in rounds 2 and 3. I think Zecchini could, get this fight later, and potentially maybe he gets gas. He's been knocked out in round 2 before, kind of looked tired. He's been out for a while. That could be an issue for him. Obviously, the UFC wants McMillan to win. Let's be honest. Look who they're giving him. But man, I can't wait to, I'm going to fade this guy, McMillan. I faded him. I actually have a small bet on Zecchini at like plus 900 or whatever. I'm definitely going to fade this guy soon, like in a big way. But it's going to be hard here for Zecchini to win because the layoff, that he's just not very skilled. He's not a very good fighter. He's much shorter. Look at that. It's a 4-inch height advantage, 5-inch reach advantage. So, yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. KO 2-3 is not bad.
Yeah, I was trying to get a Tommy McMillan wig for the breakdown today, but it didn't come in time, so I just had to cancel the order. We were going to go full Cornholio impersonation on this one, but it didn't work out. Yeah, dude, this is clearly like the UFC is trying to find who can we get Tommy McMillan a win against, and they said they were like, can we get him a vegetable? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. We're gonna. What's the best vegetable we have? And they're like, we got a zucchini. And they're like, that sounds good to me. Let's do it. Let's give him a vegetable. So yeah, I feel like you said, like this fight, the only way that it could potentially like look like minus 1,100 is if he just instantly shot a takedown. And then I think that this fight, like, he could look, minus 1,000 if he just like within the first 30 seconds shoots a takedown and instantly subs him, which is definitely possible in this fight. If you look at their grappling, like McMillan's a 3-time state champ in the 4th year in Montana, the 4th year he was injured. So dude can wrestle, like, and I feel like he's got solid jiu-jitsu once he gets you there too. So I think it could look bad that way. But I have to go with the same props that you went with the KO and getting it late. KO alone is plus 240, but why do that when you got 11-1 and 2,000, 20-1 on 2-3? It's not like this guy has like massive stopping power. And I think Zecchini's going to probably try to, keep him at bay early and go after him. And then I think he's going to slow down and get finished. The type of strikes and the knees and forward pressure in round 3 against McGoyan, as the type of shit that I just think puts out Zecchini. So let's get this late round KO. I'm with you on it. I think that I think it's live. I think he could easily sub him early though too. If he fights smart, this is like insta takedown, insta sub.
Yeah, I mean, listen, can he? Well, I don't want to say insta sub because we just don't really know like what level of Zecchini's grappling is, like his jiu-jitsu. I mean, I don't really know. I know he got subbed a long time ago via triangle, but like he could be pretty good with his jiu-jitsu. I really don't know. Probably not. But it's not like, are we acting like Tommy McMillan's like some fucking BJJ black belt now? Like he's not.
No, I think he's a better grappler than he is a striker though.
Yeah, because defensively he's very, very buoyed. I mean, The problem is too, like, but like the issue with McMillan is it's a twofold issue, right? And I'm gonna move on after this, but the issue is, first of all, in the Magoyan fight, we saw that he could defensively wrestle, right? He could stuff takedowns. He was really good with that part of this game. But then, like, when you look at his submissions and who they're coming against, it's just like the bottom of the barrel people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, he's got subs, but against who, right? Would Zecchini finish those guys too via sub? Like, maybe. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Tommy McMillan's a head case, though, man. This guy's arguing with everybody on Twitter, like telling them they're idiots. Why are you betting against me? Like, he is so in his head about Twitter and who's talking about him. And I mean, he needs to concentrate on his fight. Like, bro, like, you're a fighter. Who cares? People are going to criticize you on Twitter, right? It just is what it is. And then he's going after guys breaking down fights, saying he shouldn't be a huge favorite. Well, they're going off tape, buddy. Like, you got rocked and hurt 3 times last fight against Magoyan. And people, you know, he's an okay fighter. I don't think he's that good. And he's not really a striker. He's a grappler. And he hurt you multiple times on the feet. Like, it's not a good look, you know? Did you show toughness? Yes. Were you extremely tough and you came back? Yes. Props to you. I will say that. You know, you got to kill him to get him out of there, which is good. It's a good attribute to have, you know? But, all right, let's move on. Next fight. It's in the bantamweight division. It is the 14-0 Rafael Estevam versus the 9-2 Ethan Ewing. And currently, Ethan Ewing is a minus 135 favorite, and the comeback on Estevam at plus 115. So the odds really haven't moved. Estevam, to our not surprise, he missed weight again up at 135. Not surprising. And guess what? He missed by half a pound, and he didn't want to cut. He didn't cut the weight. I don't know what happened, but he didn't cut the weight. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Half a pound, buddy. Cut the half pound. And this is a guy, Tim. This is a guy. Came from his own mouth. This is not coming from me. He's a guy that said he didn't, when he was asked before about his missing weight, you know, he's like, what's going on? You're missing weight. He says, I don't really care about making weight. I care more about fighting. Guess what? 135, he misses weight again. UFC should absolutely cut this fucking guy. Fuck him. He should be cut. All right? He should not be in the UFC. I don't care if he's 14-0. I don't care if he's going to 15-0. But he should not be in the UFC. He should absolutely be cut. Fuck him. All right. With that being said, is this me or you?
This is me, but I'll divert to you as long as I can start the Ricci fight.
Well, is the Ricci? No, just go. Do it. Go.
Yeah, this fight is like I've been struggling with this one. I can see like a couple of different things. I think it's quite obvious like which ways, like which paths I like and what lines I like for Lambos. But it's been tough because it's like early Estevam, late Ewing, clear as day. Like Estevam is losing almost every third round in the UFC. And Ewing to me is the most dangerous striker that's going to give him like knees and uppercuts and has one shot power that he's fought in the UFC so far. And I feel like if Johnson had like, I'm not going to say like 2 more rounds or even like a round more. I think if Johnson had like 2.5 minutes more, I think he could potentially have finished Estevam in that fight in round 3. And I think that Ewing has the chance to do the same here late and KO him late. But there's also like tape with Ewing with getting taken down where like he gives up his back every single time he tries to get up. Like he goes on all fours, he gets up, he just like it's his process to get up. And I think that this is going to be extremely dangerous in this fight with Estevam. Estevam takes the back well. And we haven't seen him like proactively like looking for subs against guys, but I think that like Ewing getting heel hooked in a fight is never a good look. I don't hate anybody taking shots on the KO 2-3. I'm going to have it in as like a last leg addition to my parlay later on, because I think it's a very good look and it makes the line huge. But I'm going to take stabs at Estevam sub 1 and sub 2 at 16-1 and 22-1. I think if he gets him down and Ewing tries to get up in the way that he's shown on tape when I've seen him taken down, is I think a back take is there. And if the body lock is there, rear naked choke is always live. So we'll see. Again, I think it's early Estevam, late Ewing. I'm probably going to play both props, to be honest, and hope it doesn't go. So yeah, give me Estevam by sub in round 1 and round 2, 16-1 and 22-1.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad bet. I mean the guys that he's faced, Buenas, Aguilar, Johnson, very very hard to sub all these guys. You know, obviously Aguilar has been sub, but Buenas is a very good jiu-jitsu guy. You're not going to sub him. Charles Johnson, almost impossible to sub. Like we know that he's very very hard to sub. And then when you look at his previous fights against Visconti, Esteves, Elias, all those guys are high-level jiu-jitsu black belts, you know, so he didn't get the sub. He got the ground and pound over there on a couple of them. But he's very dangerous with his submission game, I think. You know, Ewing needs to mind his P's and Q's here. He is a brown belt, but, I mean, he's never faced a grappler like this. Yeah, I don't think he ever has. I don't think he's trained potentially. He says in an interview he trained with the Ruchala brothers, who are like obviously world-class jiu-jitsu guys and grapplers. So I don't know how much he's trained with them, but he did say he trained with the Ruchala brothers. So I'm not really sure how good his jiu-jitsu is. He got taken down against Billy Brand. I mean, he wasn't down for long. He got back up. He got taken down again and then immediately got back up and knocked out Billy Brand. I'm assuming his first fight in his pro career, he was taken down a lot by Edwin Cooper Jr., but Edwin Cooper Jr. is a D1 high-level wrestler, man, and I'm assuming he just kind of rinse and repeated takedowns on Ewing. The thing is, Ewing has very good striking, man. Really good footwork, good uppercuts, good knees, excellent cardio from what I've seen. Estevam slows down. He missed weight again. Obviously, he's a front-loaded fighter. He can get your back. He can, you know, hold you down. But, you know, is he going to be better at 35 than 25? You know, 25, he's facing the smaller guys, kind of weight bullying a lot of these guys. Is he going to be able to do it here against Ewing? I don't know. I do think that I've seen Estevam almost in every fight slow down in rounds 2 and 3. Like, he just does. And if Ewing scrambles and does the right things early, doesn't settle like he said he would, I think he's going to find a KO on this guy in rounds 2 and 3. I mean, I just, Estevam slowed way too much. Like if Johnson didn't, start engaging in the grappling for whatever reason in round 3, I think Johnson could have potentially finished him, but Ewing sits down on his punches more, man, and he hits harder. It's plus 900, plus 1200. I have to go with Ewing 2-3. But I don't hate your shot at all. I do think Estevam's light to sub him early. I don't hate it at all. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those fights. I think Estevam early, Ewing late. If you want to bet the money line, I think it's better to bet Estevam, honestly, early, because I think this line's going to be flipped, and Ewing might potentially be, plus 200, 250. And then you get to actually see, is Ewing going to be able to get up against a guy like Estevam, And that way you can decide to live bet or not. Let's move on, Tim. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 17-9 Brenson Ribeiro versus the 8-0 Abdul Rahman Yakhyaev. Currently, Yakhyaev is minus $1 million. His line has gone up. Oh, no, it's minus 1,400, and the comeback on Ribeiro is plus 800. Yakhyaev missed by 1 pound. He came back. He made weight. Props to him. Like these other guys, half a pound didn't want to cut. Yakhyaev went and cut a whole pound, and he made weight. Now he's eligible for the 100K. I think this one's me. This is what I think. I think Yakhyaev is going to knock him out. First and foremost, I think he's going to knock out Ribeiro. Line is -110. I don't think it's bad. I don't think he's going to sub Ribeiro, honestly. I know people are saying he could do both. Ribeiro's pretty good with his sub defense, man. He's not going to be easy to sub. But he's easy to knock out. You heard him on the feet, and he just shells up, and he's done, right? And Yakhyaev throws hammers on the feet. Like, he is absolutely throwing howitzers. So I think it's knockout for Yakhyaev here. I want to put that out there. So -110, I think is not a bad price at all. Now, we're talking about Lambo. Ribeiro is live to knock out anybody early. He throws big shots, right? And he goes for it early. KO1 is 40-1, Tim. Round 1 is 25-1. Take a shot. Take a shot on Ribeiro KO1. Like, Yakhyaev can get hit. He's a little wild in these exchanges. And maybe Ribeiro finds a chin somehow. And he hits hard. Ribeiro hits very hard. How about if he just, in an exchange, just finds a right hand and Yakhyaev goes to sleep? You win 40-1. KO1.
That's his money line, in my opinion. I think you're 100% right. He's not finishing him late, and Yakhyaev shows that he's super aggro early. So if he comes in wide and wild and overconfident, it's definitely possible. I took the Yakhyaev KO at -110. Like, I see people in the chat saying KO1. Like, don't play KO1. It's +120 or +130. Play KO at -110. Don't get greedy on 30 cents.
There's no reason to do that. Like, just play -110. It's -110 KO.
Yeah, I think it's KO1, but KO2's 11-1. There is a situation. He's normally killing guys early, and I do think he's probably going to nuke Ribeiro early. But the situation that I think that the KO2 might be possible is if he actually does try to grapple. What you said about this sub defense, like, Ribeiro goes like full guard. Like, he doesn't even try to get up. Like, might he get ground and pounded from those positions? Yeah, it's possible, but it's like, he also could survive by just going full guard and just wasting time. It just also depends on when the takedown happens. So, I think it's just a basic KO at -110. I think if you told me that these guys are fighting 100 fights, how many times does Yakhyaev KO him? I would say it's 65 or higher. Like, I don't think it's like 50-50 at all. So -110, I think, is actually value.
All right. Let's move on, Tim. Co-main event of the night, your favorite fight of the night. It is in the women's strawweight division. It is the 12-3 Tabitha Ricci versus the 22-4 Verna Jandiroba. And currently, Jandiroba is up to a -130 favorite with the comeback on Ricci at +110. I put a photo of Verna Jandiroba's toes in the Discord, in the channel. Tim was very excited when he saw them. But yeah, go ahead, Tim. This one's yours.
Yeah, I was very, very excited. I think she's got like a 3.2 like wiki feet score, which is like the low. You get like 3.8 just by signing up.
There is no. Do they have negative?
Yeah, it was. She's
getting negative. She's definitely negative.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this fight is just, this fight's interesting to me. I lean on the Ricci side from just a money line standpoint, and I think that it's really hard to find. Like, I think this fight goes to decision at a very, very high clip, and there aren't really that many great Lambos. So I'm going to take a stab at just an absolutely massive line that I'll throw like $10 on just to have fun, just to watch. Stylistically, I think that the speed advantage, athleticism advantage for Ricci, and potentially even strength advantage is there for her. Chaining takedowns and wrestling, I would go with Verna's got an advantage there. I think Verna's BJJ is higher level than Ricci's, but that's going to contradict what my Lambo is actually. I think that there could be a meme armbar here potential. So I'm going to take a stab at Ricci by sub at +5,000. I think this fight goes to decision, a very high clip. But meme sub women's MMA. Kind of like it's definitely possible. Anytime 5,000 for a grappler is, they're basically saying that Verna's unsubbable, and we'll see. I don't think I think that she's got better grappling and is a very elite jiu-jitsu player. So I don't think that it's going to hit. But plus 5,000 on a sub prop for a grappler is kind of wild.
Yeah, plus 5,000. We just got over 500 viewers. Might be a sign for you. Yeah, I mean, I don't think either girl's honestly going to sub the other. I thought you were going to give out Jandiroba KO, honestly, after I started hearing you. I'm like, maybe ground and pound he's going to say, because that's 33-1 too. It's crazy. But I think this fight just goes, man, and it's going to be close, honestly. I think Tabitha Ricci tends to fight close. I think she gets taken down. I'm not sure if she's going to get held down. That's the one thing I like about Ricci. She gets taken down. She's scrambling to get back up. She's not really playing jiu-jitsu off her back. She's not doing any of that. She's looking to get right back up. And, she does a good job. Obviously, she's facing a very good grappler, but she's faced good grapplers before. So I think she knows what she's doing. Both these girls are really good on the mat. Verna, obviously, coming off the loss championship fight against Mackenzie Dern. So I don't know how much that's going to affect her. She's obviously 37. She's going to turn 38. She is not young. And the weight cuts have been kind of rough for her for the most part. But I'm going to go with split here. You didn't give it. I'm going to give it. It's 3-1. It's a shitty line. But I just feel like this fight plays close, man. Like, even in the striking, because Verna has a, reach and height advantage, she's probably going to land a little bit on Ricci, and I was at one point saying, Verna's cardio sucks, sort of guy, but she's gone 5 rounds now, and like, I don't think it's going to matter anymore. Like, in a 3-round fight, I think she should be fine. It's just one of those fights where maybe Ricci does more, but Jandiroba could be getting takedowns and landing a little bit. So it's plus 300. It's a shitty line. I want nothing to do with this fight in all reality. Like, I'm passing. I lean Ricci, but I'm completely passing this fight.
One judge has already pre-written 30-27 Ricci just so that they can watch the Peach all fight.
Definitely. They like Ricci. They like Ricci. Before we move on, main event, 507 live viewers. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all of that stuff, please. It helps the channel. Channel is growing, so I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for doing that. Also, Discord link is down below, free, in the free section. Like, you could be in the free section. I'm 8-2 on my free plays. I gave out a free play this week. And if you want to pay, it's $25 a month. Discord is actually growing really well. Got a bunch of bets. I think we're up a little bit in LFA today after another winner. But yeah, it's just a great community, great people. It's just good all the way around. So anyways, with that being said, Tim, let's move on to the main event of the night. And it is in the lightweight division. It is the 27-1 Renato Moicano versus the 15-2 Chris Duncan. And this line has completely cratered to minus 150 on the Duncan side and a plus 130 comeback on Renato Moicano. I'm just going to go with Duncan KO 3-4-5 plus 500. He said he's going to knock him out later. I believe he's going to knock him out later. Moicano in the Dariush fight showed me that he looked spent in rounds 2 and 3, man. Absolutely gassed, tired. Yes, can he get Duncan down early, potentially get the back? That is a concern. I will say Duncan, when he's been taken down, he gives up his back against a lot of these guys. Now, with that being said, in his interview, he said, I know not to give up my back to Moicano, not letting him get the back take. I would assume he's not going to give his back to Moicano when he gets trying to get back up, but you never know. But either way, Duncan has better cardio. The trajectory is just better. Yeah, can Moicano get the back take, get a sub? Of course, he's the better jiu-jitsu guy by far. But I think Duncan's gonna knock him out later, man. I think Moicano's gonna gas. He's gonna eat some big shots, and the power advantage is massive one way. Durability as far as taking punches is massive one way. Yeah, I like Duncan 3-4-5 KO here plus 500.
Yeah, I think the same. I think the same thing. Honestly, 3-4-5 for Duncan. I think you could also sub him if he's putting his neck in the wrong spot. I do lean KO over sub, but I'll take the. I think that's probably the way that the fight goes. But I'm going to give the Moicano side. I think round 1, round 2 submission for him at 8-1 and 14-1 are really good. Like those are kind of in my opinion his win condition. Could he get on top? And he dropped Benny, but everybody's killing Benny at this point. In the first, he dropped him in the first round, and then like you said, like Benny he just grapple fucked him. I think that the takedown to back take in this fight is pretty live. I also, like you said, if Duncan like just goes, I don't like. I know people are saying like Duncan probably is physically stronger than Moicano, but I don't think his takedown defense is like really that great. Like he got taken down by Oki twice. Oki was a dumbass and just put his head right into his arms for the choke. He's given up takedowns. He gave up 2 to Rebecca. I don't think his takedown defense. Yes, I think he's a strong guy, but I don't think his takedown defense is like technical at all. I think he just uses strength to try to defend. It's not really great wrestling. And I think that the trips, it's not like Moicano's like an elite wrestler, but I think he catches kicks well. He trips, he gets body lock trips. And then he's just so aggressive with taking the back and fucking guys up there. So, Duncan has said that he's, as well, that he's fucked him up many times in training. Obviously I think these guys are at different stages and different trajectories, but this is clearly the biggest step up in competition for Duncan that he's had. And this is a pretty gigantic step down in competition for Moicano. So yeah, give me Moicano sub 1, sub 2, but I probably honestly will be playing yours as well. If I'm playing this fight, I think late round for Duncan is super, super live.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those fights. I think if Moicano doesn't get takedowns early, I do think Moicano, technically speaking, has better striking, in my opinion. Like he's got better Muay Thai striking. He's cleaner. But I watched him again. Like I don't rate Benny striking very good. I mean, he's got power kicks, Benny, and he throws big overhands. But I don't think his striking is very good. And he's kind of getting outstruck, man, easily by Benny. Easily. Up until he hurt Benny. Benny was picking him apart on the feet before he hurt Benny and dropped him in round 1. And then obviously Benny took him down and stuff. The thing is, like with Duncan, like, yeah, Moicano can land on. I don't think he's going to hurt Duncan, though. I really don't. I think Duncan has even though he's been hurt before, I think he's been hurt against much.
Where did he get this chin? Like he in his earlier fights, dude, he was getting massacred by guys and dropped all the time.
But to his credit, he never got like, I wouldn't say he got massacred. He would always get dropped.
Yeah.
And he'd get back up, fight back, right? He was good at that, right? That happened against Borishev early. He hurt Borishev. Borishev hurt him. Then eventually and then Campbell, same shit. Campbell dropped him, hurt him very bad. Then he came back and killed Campbell, right? So, even in the Bellator fight, I think he got hurt, actually. Yeah, I don't remember which one of them, but one of those Bellator fights, he got hurt pretty bad as well. But, as he's grown, I do think that he knows how to fight a little bit better, I guess, a little bit smarter. I don't know if he's that smart, to be honest. Like, he's still going balls to the wall. He's a warrior. But Moicano's 37, bro. Like, he's older. Duncan's very aggressive. He's got those beautiful lead elbows to slash up your face, Yeah, I mean, I get it. Moicano early sub, and then it goes probably in Duncan verse, right? So, yeah. All right. Lambo parlay time. I have a very small one this week. I don't really love like putting together a parlay this week. It's just not something I loved. I'm just going with Costa sub, Vannata sub, 21-1. That's all I'm giving. Costa sub, Vannata sub, 21-1. That's my Lambo parlay this week. I guess you can add, if you like someone else by sub, I don't know who. Maybe Estevam.
If you added Cowan, it would be 219-1.
Yeah, that's another way you could do it. Cowan.
Yep.
You add 219-1. Wow.
If you add Cowan to
How much is your fucking sub?
Hers was 19-1 or 9-1.
Yeah, it can't. How would it would go that high? Jesus. That sounds like it's crazy to jump that much. Are you sure?
I thought that's what I saw.
No way. Hold on. You got me excited here. Costa sub. Nah, it's not going to be that high. No way. Not 219. No chance, Tim.
219.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Call me a liar.
219-1. Jesus Christ. Why not? I'm sprinkling it with you. Is that what you had? I don't even know what you have.
I honestly, I had Lando sub, Costa sub 20-1, add Cowan sub 219-1.
All right. Well, Tim has the same Lambo. We got the same, except the Cowan one I didn't have. But yeah, that's it. All 13 fights, all the Lambos. Let's hit some. Let's have a run back from last week would be nice. You got any parting words for the 531 live viewers?
No, man. Love you guys all. Thanks for the support. Link down below for the Discord. It's fucking free money week in and week out, and support my dude.
Yeah. Live plays last week. Insane. Yeah, it's just been we got some big dog shots for boxing coming up tomorrow. One of the best in the game, Gnome, giving them out. So, yeah, appreciate everybody again. Thank you for all the support. Good luck. And let's cash those tickets for UFC Vegas 116.